My name is Henri Laborde. That's how you say it in French. I'm an art restorer. I got into art restoration about 23 years ago, and I never looked back. I'm proud to restore just about anything. Anything that's artistic, that was crafted by someone at some point, I can fix. I can always improve it. I can always make it in a way that people can still enjoy it for years and years to come. I have this robot piece that's made of fiberglass, and it's got some RCA plugs for legs, it's got some clips for hands, chains for arms, and rugby ball for a head, and one shoulder broke. This is one of the shoulder of a robot made of fiberglass. I'm not surprised it broke because that's where the tension is. And the shoulder is made of chain links. So one of those links broke, and about a third of it was completely shattered and could not be recovered. So I put a brace in it and I got the shape back. This portion here was missing. So I had to put a metal brace in it in a U shape, and it has a coating that looks like polished steel. The chain link was completely missing. I could make a mold of one of them, cast a variety of resins in it, and then just put some color or just kind of tint the resin, and it's got that very reflective finish. And so this one's going to go on the other side, and my goal is going to be to make it look like this. It's gonna look stunning. I work with many different mediums: ceramic, porcelain, glass, bronze, silver, ivory, any kind of stone, whether they're precious or not, concrete, plaster, fiberglass, wood. I have actually restored cardboard. There's really nothing I don't do. That's why I have lots of compounds, lots of different materials that I use, because there's always one particular material that's going to work for that one particular job. And someone said, "Can you fix this?" And I said, "I don't know, but I'm just going to figure it out." And there's this other piece that was also in a fire. An angel, a garden angel, no head, but two beautiful wings, a fairly large piece, and it sustained some severe damage. It's a ceramic piece that I repair using a combination of fiberglass and steel. Fiberglass is a resin with fibers that made of glass, and it just really penetrates and grabs onto ceramic. And so it grabs everything together, the metal holds it, and it's super strong. I had to strengthen everything because everything was literally falling apart. I actually took a picture of the pile of rubble, and now it's actually standing. This entire area was missing, and now it's all solid. I had to drill through here, cut here, and brace it like you would if your limbs were broken. And now it's all getting really solid, doesn't sound broken anymore. Once I'm done really strengthening everything, I will use a different kind of filler and then fill that, then sand really smooth, get the shape back. You have in the wings, you have the feathers shape, so you have to get that back. Then I'm gonna have to paint it, prime the whole thing, and then just try to antique it a little bit and make it ready to go back outside. Art, it oozes out of me. I was blessed with great eye-hand coordination. Since I was a kid, I was just very artistic, very creative, great at drawing, painting, crafting things with my hands. This painting was moved, and this worker just took a cut-off blade and just put a gap in it right there. And so there was a line right here, and there was another one right here. So I used my special glue and a little bit of heat, and I had to just kind of press it down little by little. And then when I was done, I sealed it, and then I painted it and made it look perfect again. Art is how I express myself. That's how I heal myself, honestly. Whether I'm feeling emotionally down, I always go back to my creativity. Just look at colors and shapes and lights and feel inspired. Like, oh, this is beautiful. Creativity is just a huge part of me. You have to be an artist to do what I do. This lion is made of ceramic, and obviously it's old, and it's 3/4 of the bottom section there, and half of the tail was missing. So I had to rebuild it, and the customer didn't want me to fix all those little chips there. He just wanted to keep that. So what I had to do is I had to actually recreate chips. So I put some silicone to mask so the glaze would not adhere to a certain area, and now I'm gonna glaze it so it's got that same sheen, but then it will have that consistent chip feel. What touches me and what has value to me is not what the market says, it's what the heart of people say. And someone brings me something that can be very insignificant to most people, but means the world to them. And I can proudly say it brought some great relief to people, because people will come to me in tears as if their heart was beating in that particular piece, and that piece broke and their heart broke. So in some way I'm mending their heart by mending their piece, and that feels very special. About the horse behind me, it belongs to this gentleman who is absolutely madly in love with it. I believe he had one exactly like that when he was a kid, and he found this and he said, I absolutely have to have this restored. The client wanted to remove all the straps. I'm gonna have to blend in the antique color there. So I'm gonna have to airbrush a few colors and layer them so I can hide this. I'll probably fix the crack right here. I have to actually buy some real horse hair. The horse hair that I'm going to have to source is gonna come right here, and it's gonna need a mane, which is missing right now. A colleague of mine will be making a new leather saddle. The ears are a little messed up. The ears need work. We have to refinish the base too. And the base is gonna be restored to a rich wood finish. It's got that rocking mechanism. It's very old-fashioned. What he likes is the focus point to be the horse. He wants it to look vintage, but not damaged, and he's just absolutely nuts about it. For the lifetime of the piece that I just restored, a part of me is in there. This piece, it's gonna live on for decades, and you're part of it. That's something that really nourishes me as a person. This is molded plastic. This one has deep scratches and little micro impacts. And so the idea is gonna be to make that area right there look like this, right? Look like this here. So it's a matter of sanding with different sandpapers, from coarse to really fine, and then using a polisher with a polishing compound and just gently go over the whole thing like you would do on a car. The sense of relief. This was broken, and then I come in, the art surgeon, the art magician, and sometimes it does feel like magic. This was a pile of rubble, and all of a sudden it's looking beautiful like nothing happened. It is magical. This piece came from a church in France. They have that baby angel face on them. They're all made of ceramic, very solid, very heavy. The face was really, really damaged. And it was painted on top with some powdered pigments, and you can tell because as you were running your hands through it, the pigment would stay on your fingers. The gold was pretty much all gone. Lots of those little pieces there were missing. So I made a mold of one of them, and I replicated it and applied it there so it looks perfect.
and he wanted them to look really sharp, but not brand new, so I aged the gold that I put on there. And then I try to do several colors on there so that it was not too solid, too new looking.
Took quite a while, it took a few months. I restore lots of pieces that are made by completely unknown people, and I also restore pieces made by very famous people. First one that comes to head is Picasso. I've restored countless pieces of ceramics from his studio. I've restored lots of pieces from American artists from the 50s. Peter Volkos, Otto Heino, Jeff Koons. Lots of Jeff Koons balloon dogs. One of the Jeff Koons champagne holder, and it was that reflective finish, that metallic reflective finish, and really tricky to restore. I've had the pleasure of working on real Fabergé eggs. At some point I had 3 of them in my shop, and on the outside it was bronze, copper, brass, some silver, some nickel-plated parts. Very intricate, and it involved other people and me. I love having someone who comes in and is like, this is so important to me, and I go, now it's important to me. This Moroccan game table with tons of inlays in it. It's actually a convertible table, and it opens up and you can play backgammon, then you can flip it and you can play chess, and it has a felt mat and you can actually play cards or any game you want. And it came to me in a really bad condition. The part that was in the worst shape was actually this part here. There's a spot right here that was completely missing, that I had to do a faux painting on it, and I was able to just completely recreate the original mother of pearl inlays. It had a big burned spot on it, lots of water damage, lots of parts missing. And I used a powdered mother of pearl with a resin that I use for glass restoration. And I poured it in all those little spaces. Basically, all these were missing. All these were missing. A lot of these around here were missing. All the corner ones were missing. So all these are new. And I poured that in there, sand it flat, and recreated the black border all around it to make it look completely original. The owner wanted to make it look fabulous again, which I was glad to take on. There's a method called kintsugi, a Japanese method, developed to repair a piece but not cover the damages. It's a way to say, this broke, but then we put it together and we just left a very pretty mark on the piece to just remember, yes, it broke, but we put it together. And so instead of trying to hide the cracks, you fill the cracks with resin, and then you put some gold leaf on the cracks, and then you burnish those gold leaves so they shine, and you basically add to the piece. I just want to remember it broke and honor what happened and not try to hide it. This Buddha is made of alabaster, and it was caught in the fire, and the heat created some burn marks but caused the whole thing to split in half. And it was a very dear piece to the customer. And so I said, I can't really get rid of the burn marks, but I want to lessen them, I want to clean that as much as possible. I cleaned it up quite a bit, but it broke right here, so it split in half. And here's another part of the break. And they are the ones suggesting kintsugi. So I'm just going to add some gold on the repair spots there so they can remember it was in the fire. What I like is when I restore something for someone and people are so grateful, so appreciative of what I do. That makes the experience even more gratifying. This is made of fiberglass. There's a wood frame inside, and there's some heavy fiberglass on top. This is more difficult because this is the way it came in, and this is the way it's supposed to look like after you sand and polish. And this piece had a lot of damaged parts. Actually has also some burn marks
which I should be able to sand and polish later. But the tough part is this part, the resin. And I did a little test here. I'm a little too dark and the pigment separated. So I'm gonna have to switch to a different pigment and try to get more of a kind of a yellowish, orangish feel compared to that. And it has to be very square, very sharp. So I have to put all my skills in this.
I restore anything of any value. Whether it's a tiny restoration for $25 or it's a restoration for thousands of dollars, I put the same amount of skills and attention to all the pieces. And the way I sleep good at night is I can close the door of my shop and say, I've done well today.